All right, what's going on? It's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. Welcome to this amazing Forbidden Knowledge podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the technology, the lost technology of the Maya. And what is it all about? And I have a very, very special guest tonight that has some amazing insight on this information. We're going to be talking about what if the pyramids of ancient Mexico were not just merely temples, but actual components of technology that maybe, just maybe, we still don't understand today. Deep beneath the temple of the feathered serpent at Teotihuacan, archaeologists entered a tunnel that had been deliberately sealed for nearly 2,000 years. And inside, they discovered a symbolic underground cosmos, walls and ceilings made to sparkle with reflective materials and minerals, mysterious green stone figures, pyrite mirrors, and even liquid mercury placed into small cavities like a little shimmering lake with a little miniature landscape. Interesting, because we know that mercury is so toxic. Why would they spend so much energy storing mercury in that way? We'll touch on that tonight as well. And then above that subterranean world stood one of the most precisely planned cities in the ancient Americas. Its builders redirected a river, organized enormous monuments along a geometric grid, and oriented major structures toward an astronomically significant solar date. UNESCO describes Teotihuacan's design as being based on geometric principles and cosmic harmony. And that's a long stretch for UNESCO to go. They don't like to get too deep into the esoteric. What if that cosmic harmony went even deeper? Some researchers ask whether the pyramids of the sun and the moon and the feathered serpent were intended to mirror Orion, or whether the city itself represented a map of the heavens brought down to earth, as above, so below. The specific Orion correlation remains a hypothesis, while the evidence is there when you look at Giza in Africa. We begin to see the connection between Giza Plateau in Cairo and Teotihuacan in Mexico City. And this is where the mystery crosses the oceans. In the Hermetic tradition associated with Thoth, and of course also Hermes Trismegistus, the Emerald Tablet describes a universe in which the world above and the world below reflect one another. The historical text known as the Emerald Tablets appear in medieval Arabic sources and also in other sources as well. Now, it survived from Pharaonic Egypt, but its central principle became one of the most influential ideas in alchemy: heaven, earth, matter, and consciousness operating as parts of one unified system. When you insert the human being, you have the fifth element. So where the green stones are, where are they? Where'd they go? We're going to talk about that tonight. Teotihuacan is not just a ritual location or ritual place. And we're going to also talk about why the mercury has been buried beneath those pyramids and what its possible purpose was. Were the pyramids designed to only honor the gods, or were they built to reproduce the forces attributed to them? So tonight, with Timothy Hogan, we investigate the lost technology of the Mesoamerican gods, and we ask a question that can completely transform our understanding of the ancient world. So without further ado, let me bring up my very good friend and co-host of tonight's podcast, Timothy Hogan. Hey, Timothy.
Hey, Billy. How are you?
All right. Great, man. Great. Glad to have you on here. This is a great topic, and I got the right man for the job.
Well, it's an important topic. You know, I think what you're suggesting is, changes all kinds of perspectives of who the Mayans were, what they were connected with, what they were really about, and what were these monuments.
Yeah.
Some people think that the Mayans inherited some of the monuments. Mm-hmm. Other people think that the Mayans built them. And that's still up for some debate depending on the area that you go. But one thing that we know is that these pyramids, these structures, were built according to the cosmology of the Mayans had, and what they suggested is that all reality kind of manifested out of a tree, like a tree of life, and on that tree were 22 branches representing 22 aspects of nature and gods and the universe and such. And then these were connected to their 10 main deities, and of which their chief deity was known as Ioatl. It's like IAOTL.
Yeah.
And Ioatl was usually represented symbolically by a squared circle, and then a spiral coming out of it. And that was the traditional depiction of him. But under this was other lesser deities that had real importance, like Quetzalcoatl, who was also known as Viracocha, and was the plumed serpent god. This uniting of the snake of the ground and the birds of the heavens, the as above, so below, uniting and making him the plumed serpent god. So
it's really interesting. You're tapping into something that I want to go right into, because we see here, a Mayan god riding in, flying in on this flying dragon, and we see in Egypt, we see an Egyptian god flying in on this flying serpent, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, flying through the heavens. It's the same idea.
Yeah. It's so amazing how we can see these correlations between all these different cultures all around the world. And so what it makes me feel like is that these Maya and the Teotihuacans and that civilization in Mesoamerica, all throughout Chichen Itza and everything else in the Yucatan Peninsula, were somehow interconnected globally. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that connect them. Another symbol that you find in Egypt over the doorways is the solar disc that's winged, but with the serpents coming out of it. So again, there's a mix of it's the flying serpent, idea, So, so these are they're suggestive that there was a connection there. Another thing that's really significant from both the Egyptian and the Mayan traditions, they both say that they had come from a pre-civilization that was destroyed in cataclysm, and that they had escaped in boats, and the Egyptians settled in the Nile Valley, and the Mayans settled in the Yucatan. But both had the same cosmology, and the Mayan name for this place was Aztlan, and the Egyptian name for this place was Utlant. But Utlant, Aztlan, very similar sounding, and probably both. That's probably the origin of where Solon learned of the story of Atlantis that Plato talks about.
Solon, the great poet. His works are just incredible.
Right. Yeah. So the fact that you have Atlantis, Aztlan, Utlant, it's all the same thing. So it's got to be, and the same, origin story. So.
Right, exactly. Now, we know from what we've studied, at least we can hypothesize from what we've read and studied, that it seems as if Atlantis was a highly advanced technological civilization. And if they did have this influence over the rest of the world, and that Atlantis became a global civilization with many different capitals, as you can see this image I had up here, this resembles to me in my mind's eye, these resemble technology of some sort, some type of lost technology, some type of potential flying device. And we can even see that they've got that bag in their hands, or they're holding on to something.
The handbag, you find that all over the world, associated with gods, or of one kind or another. Probably the seeds of civilization, But these certainly these serpents are some sort of a traveling device, and the Mayan figure looks like he's wearing some sort of a helmet, almost like a space helmet. And of course, the Egyptian one, it literally shows them flying through the stars, flying space, So it's in mythological texts, ocean and space are kind of substituted for each other, with the idea that space is like a big ocean, and
right.
But there's definitely that relation there. So
no doubt. There's so many references to an artifact that kind of resemble or reference what could be potential technology. Why do you think the mainstream has labeled all of it mythology?
I think there's probably an understanding on some control or government level that if we acknowledge that humanity almost got wiped out, 12,500 years ago, there's a possibility it could get wiped out again, and that's bad for business. I mean, it's bad PR. I guess that's the only thing I can figure. I mean, because the evidence is there that there was a cataclysm. There's also the evidence that through drill marks and saw marks and granite and just the size and precision of creating some of these monuments that we find in Egypt. They suggest a very advanced civilization to who did it, and as advanced as the Egyptians were, there's almost we see a devolution rather than an evolution of technology. It's like it started out super advanced at the beginning, and by the time Julius Caesar was invading, and Cleopatra had to give up Egypt, it didn't have the same level of technology anymore, So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, for sure. You can see that when I go, when we go to Egypt, we see the further back we go in time, we see megalithic single piece diorite statues, crystal diorite, crystal granite, single piece columns.
Right.
Massive. But as you go forward in time into the dynastic era, they start becoming cut megalithic blocks, but they're stacked on top of each other. Multiple pieces put together like a puzzle. In other words, the knowledge of how to do the single pieces had been lost the further you come forward in time.
Right. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, and some of those granite statues, that are made with such precision too. And, for a civilization that was only said to have copper tools at the time, I mean, it doesn't even explain how they could be cut with such precision. So,
no, it's insane. Copper chisels and chicken bones.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can only cut diorite with diorite or a diamond. If you try to cut diorite with a chisel, with a copper chisel, it'll bend, break, if you can make enough of them and kept working on one spot for 100 years, you might make a small dent. You might make a scratch.
Right. That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's like an 8 in the Mohs scale or something like that. So,
right. Exactly. Very hard stone.
Yeah.
And the fact that they tell us that we can, that the ancients had done this with copper chisels is like a slap in the face. It's absolutely laughable. And they say it with a straight face, which is the most craziest thing, as if we would never find out that you can't cut diorite with a copper chisel.
That's right. Copper's at a 3 on the Mohs scale. So
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. When we look at the pyramid of the pyramid of the sun at Teotihuacan, the pyramid of the sun at Teotihuacan, we see an incredible structure. Now, what I saw was that, to me, it appears to be from the same architect from the Great Pyramid, because the base of the pyramid of the sun is the exact same size of the base of the Great Pyramid in Egypt.
Right.
So we have Africa and we have Mexico. We have two pyramids, and then the same exact base. Both sites are aligned with Orion. Right. And then on top of that, we have the pyramid of the sun is exactly 50% the height of the Great Pyramid at Giza.
Right. Yeah, like great in proportion. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like we're pointing to one master architect, and this is a side view here. And you see these shafts?
Yep.
These shafts are on the pyramid of the sun, just like there are shafts on the side of. I took this as my own from my cell phone camera when I was there last time. These megalithic shafts are pointing up at the stars with specific star alignments, and we know that the pyramid in the Great Pyramid in Egypt also has these shafts and also align with stars.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're proportionally so similar, and the fact that the complexes of because at Teotihuacan you have the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, and the Quetzalcoatl Temple Pyramid.
Yeah,
align perfectly with Orion's belt, just like the three pyramids on the Giza Plateau in Egypt. So. I mean, there's there has to be a correlation. There's also it's also interesting. There's one of the things that I've found in Egypt is on Elephantine Island. There's a temple dedicated to Tutmosis III, and in it, there's actually a depiction of a Mayan meeting with an Egyptian. And the suggestion was it was during Tutmosis III's time, and which would be about around 1500 BCE. But he just the fact that it's almost like the Egyptians were trying to seek out their cousins, so to speak, that they had lost during the cataclysm, and in the process they found them, so
yeah. Do the Templars have any secrets or knowledge of how Thoth's he claims to have built the Great Pyramid at Giza.
Yeah.
Now, any knowledge of how that same construction technique and alignment got from Egypt all the way to Mexico?
No, I mean, it would be the only suggestion would be that Thoth was somehow involved in both, and there are some strange crossovers where we find in amongst the Maya that they talk about that they had a leader by the name of Votan, and that Votan had comprised like 1,000 jade tablets that had all the wisdom and knowledge on them, and that the Maya were safeguarding these tablets, these jade tablets. Well, if we take Votan into the Norse language, it becomes Wotan, which is or Hermes in the Greek and Egyptian tradition. So and Thoth was known for these emerald tablets.
Yeah.
So it suggests that there's a connection there, that the jade tablets are maybe the same thing that the emerald tablets are talking about, since the name of the person is the same.
The same name. It's the same name. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's another one of those connections. Now, according to the emerald tablets of Thoth, it talks about a special relationship between Thoth in particular and Chichen Itza in the castle, so to speak, which is the pyramid there at Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
That's a stunning work of art as well. I mean, or just for a building. It has that special relationship as well, that on the solstices, there's a shadow of it appears that a serpent is going down the side of the pyramid, to the serpent's head, at the bottom. And of course, that was quite a feat of engineering to make that happen. So
right. I mean, imagine the first of all, before you build this structure, you have to already know where the sun is going to align with it, the angle of the structure to catch the exact angle of the sun on a particular moment to create the effect of the snake slithering down the pyramid, down towards the actual, the serpent's head at the bottom, right?
Right.
And then also you have to have it done in a way where we know that when you stand on a certain location, you can clap your hands and it makes the sound reflect back of the Quetzalcoatl bird.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you can't build this structure unless you have foreknowledge that you need to create all these specific aspects and characteristics into the structure and alignments into the structure before you lay the first stone down.
Right.
Because if you're off by 1 centimeter when you start, 1 centimeter magnifies over time, and then you can't get all the effects. You can't predict the days in the year. You can't get the snake coming down, on the solstice. You can't get the Quetzalcoatl bird sound effect. You can't get any of it if you're a centimeter off when you start. So you have to be so precise, and you have to already know it's going to work before you lay the first stone. This, to me, reeks advanced technology. It reeks foreknowledge. It reeks advanced planning, and that they had done this before in some way, or maybe computer modeled it and then spit out the blueprint and say, okay, this is how we got to build it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's certainly advanced, and there's probably, we're not even talking about. We're just talking about the things that are happening on the outside of the pyramid. I mean, on there's whole layers going into it, as well, and underneath it, that there's a much bigger complex underneath it than has been. acknowledged before, but the I mean, it's certainly advanced knowledge. One of the things that from a Templar perspective that we find particularly interesting about the Maya is that they're in their astronomical, observances. They particularly followed the planet Venus, and Venus, became associated with Quetzalcoatl. But that tracking of Venus is something that the Templars use to help figure out and navigate the size of the Earth, and how to move with a certain precise calculation across the waters of the oceans, in a stable way, intended way, by tracking where Venus was at any given time. So, so that's the fact that both the Maya and the Templar were utilizing that is pretty interesting and significant, I think. So
yeah, no doubt, absolutely. When it comes down to the mercury that was discovered at Teotihuacan, what information do you have about this?
Well, I've heard, first, they kind of explained it as rivers of mercury. Later, it's been described as, and this is just relying on the testimony of those who've been down there, but it's been described that there's almost like a map on the ground, that's
a star map.
It seems to be, some sort of a map that's aligning with stars.
Wow.
But then there's also these rivers of mercury that are made down there, and probably to reflect the heavens above. But maybe for other uses, I mean, it would have taken a lot of people and a long time to bring in that much mercury from other places. I mean, it would have had to have been mined, extracted, and then brought into that area, because the mercury is not native to that particular area. So it would have taken quite an effort to even make that happen. So
right.
That's assuming it was, the indigenous group there doing it. I mean, if it was, we're talking about somebody with real technology on their hands, they'd be able to go get it and bring it in, with relative ease.
Right. Yeah. If they have, some of these things we are scratching our head, but they did it, and so for them, it's quite possible that it was actually easy. We're scratching our heads because we keep putting, I think, even myself, I keep putting my mind into the mind of a person that's less advanced. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But at the same time, talking about how advanced it is to build these structures, and then so it's like our brains, we just can't sometimes wrap our brains around how sophisticated that they must have actually been. Right. And their ability to, to create these structures and do all of this, it's just mind blowing. It really is mind blowing, because they must have done it because it was easy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Well, and let's also not forget too that these pyramids in particular, in areas like the Yucatan, they're all built on these power centers, and you can really feel the energy when you're able to be on top of one, which it's kind of hard to get that permission to do that, but
well, when you look at the usgs.gov, you'd go to usgs.gov and you download the Earth's magnetic field map. and then lay it over these ancient sites. You lay it over Chichen Itza, you lay it over Teotihuacan, and it matches, which is incredible. It matches perfectly. And I'm trying to pull up a Vimana image right now to pull up on the screen, but that is just telling me that they knew how to align these sites with Earth's magnetic field.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a Vimana.
They were probably chosen for that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is, how did they know the magnetic field was even there?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I mean, how do you understand and know that there's a proportionately stronger electromagnetic field whipping out of the Earth in that precise location, and then go, okay, boom, X marks the spot. We're going to build right here, and then build structures that harness that ambient natural energy for all different types of functions in which we can't fully understand today.
That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah. And this here is a Vimana. What do you know about the Vimanas?
Yeah, so Vimana, the word Vimana comes from the Vedic tradition. There's a text called the Vimanaka Shastra that mentions Vimanas, but also in the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, these Indian epics, that there's also mention of Vimanas. And Vimana just means like flying craft, is what it means. Now, interesting, there's in one interpretation of Sumerian, the word Shemana is also a name for a flying craft of the gods. The Shem is the craft. I mean, traditionally it's associated with the word, but it could also be a craft of some kind or an enclosure. And then the Ana was, of course, where you get that's the root of Anunnaki itself, and it would be the craft of the heavens of the gods, basically Shemana in the Sumerian. So you have Vimana, Shemana, and then in there's certain Ethiopian texts like the Kebra Nagas that talk about King Solomon's flying ship.
Yeah,
that was also powered by mana. So you have a flying craft of course, King Solomon was going to visit the Queen of Sheba, or the Queen of Saba in Ethiopia, which made her the Queen of the Stargate.
That's right, the Queen of the Stargate.
Right. So
yes,
so you have King Solomon and his flying craft that's powered by mana, going to visit the Queen of the Stargate. So
and guess what? In my book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, I document where the Queen of the Stargate, also known as Queen Sheba, had a copy or translated a version of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth.
Yeah, perfect.
So it had passed through. Most likely, he brought it to her.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, you have these connections. Of course, there's the mana of the Bible, which powered King Solomon's craft, which we think we know what that is, which is a monoatomic gold, that is superconductive, and can help with levitation in different ways. But you also have on the Easter Island, Rapa Nui, the Moai statues, and according to the indigenous culture, they were said to be moved by a manna substance. So these things seem to all be connected, and in Egypt there are several texts about even the pharaohs going up to the heavens and soaring above everybody else, and on the one hand you could say, oh, it's metaphorical, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was literal. Maybe early on there was still the remnants of technology, or the memory of technology that was being incorporated into the myths. So
Yeah.
And then of course the Maya Quetzalcoatl was the flying serpent, here too. So
yeah,
these things were probably all related, and they're probably all the same technology being utilized, and which it really goes back to the the gods, or the science of the pre-civilization, which maybe had been inherited by the gods. So
absolutely. And when you look at these Vimanas and some of the records that were left behind, some of them were talking about utilizing a mercury along with the mana.
That's right. That's right.
So
Yeah. Mercury type engine.
Yeah. And then, so we have the mercury engine, or the parts of this thing functioning on mercury. And then we have the mercury rivers of mercury discovered in Teotihuacan in Mexico.
Oh, maybe and there's another connection too, actually. Sorry to interrupt you, Billy.
No, tell me.
But so there's another site in Xi'an, China, where there are 3 pyramids that are also aligned with Orion's belt. And one of them they believe to be this emperor, and they're afraid to go in because ground testing just outside of the pyramid is indicating lots of mercury might be inside the pyramid. So
there you go.
They're
and the alignment right
apparently
here.
there were texts by the emperor talking about him wanting to be surrounded by mercury. So everyone's afraid. The Chinese are afraid to go in there or let anybody go in there because it's just too dangerous right now. So
mercury is very toxic. I mean, mercury will give you instantaneous Alzheimer's, instantaneous dementia.
That's right. That's right.
It's over. But now, so why would they risk their brains storing this stuff? It had to have a function and a purpose, and I think what I always see is like the people always take this stuff for a ceremonial purpose, but it had a more potentially might have had a more technological purpose, and it could have been some of the fuel, so to speak, for the Vimanas.
Yeah, right? That's right. That's exactly right. Yep.
Right. And I see these alignments right here. But if you look at the TR3B, the TR3B is a flying triangle. It was originally, a black budget, but it's been now seen and documented all over the world. I was on a TV show on the Travel Channel called American Mystery, where they had me deeply investigate the flying triangle and the TR3B. And it runs off of a special type of an engine. So the engine, even though it's a triangle, in the center, there's a centrifuge. And in that centrifuge is mercury.
Oh, yeah.
And you spin that, you rotate that mercury, and there's a torus in there. So you spin that up to about 60,000 RPM inside that torus, and then you actually pressurize it to 250,000 atmospheres, and then you electrify that torus, you get anti-gravity properties. That's and then great. They have thrusters for navigation and fly-by-wire technology to navigate skies. It's almost as if we've duplicated Vimanas in the 21st century.
Yeah, I have to believe that of the credible UFO or UAP sightings of today, probably about a third of them are actually our modern military having created some of this. The other 2/3, are probably still our space cousins out there, coming to check on us.
Right, a little bit of a mix. You're right,
and I think it's possible too. When these UAPs are often seen oceans, they're clearly doing something in the ocean. two of the easiest places to recover monoatomics are actually in the ocean, and the other thing that's easy to recover is mercury from in the ocean. So the two main things you would need with those propulsions would be easy to recover in the ocean, which is probably why they've been hiding out down there. So
yeah, I believe it. I definitely believe the USOs, unidentified submerged objects. They are down there. Christopher Columbus documented in his captain's log, which you don't write in your captain's log unless something really important needs to go on there, because the Queen and the King are going to review that. But he wrote that something came up out of the ocean and lit up the entire night sky. And there's no electricity back then. So what could possibly light up the entire night sky? So Christopher Columbus documented an actual UFO coming up out of the ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And these are the TR-3Bs right here. These are real. These are man-made, potentially utilizing some of this ancient knowledge, as well as potentially maybe some reverse engineered technology from downcraft. But these are the TR-3Bs, and they are real, and they are documented. And this is a photo of a real one taken by police officers on the ground. So they're real. And again, like you said, a third of them are just our technology that we've been able to configure, and then maybe there's another, maybe 2/3 are ours, and maybe there's another 1/3 that's theirs.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So incredible stuff. By the way, everyone in the live chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We have 1,000 people on live. Timothy and I are taking you on an amazing sacred tour of Mexico. And it is going to be an incredible tour, something you just don't want to miss. I've been dropping a link in the live chat. The link is in the live chat. The link is also in the caption of this video or this audio if you're listening to it later on. Make sure you click that link and register, because this tour will sell out very fast. Imagine coming with Timothy and I on this amazing sacred tour of Mexico and visiting Teotihuacan, visiting Coba and Chichen Itza, and all these other incredible places that we're talking about now, seeing with your own eyes and being able to witness this in its glory, and then get the knowledge on the actual site. That's what we're talking about. That's going to be incredible, and we're looking so much forward to seeing y'all there. Matter of fact, check this out. Everybody, it's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I want to invite you to something that is not just a vacation and not just another tour. This is a sacred expedition into the heart of ancient Mexico. And this is the sacred tour you've been waiting for. The IAOTL Rising, the Pyramids of Mexico experience. And from October the 24th through November the 5th, 2026, we are taking a select group deep into the pyramids, the temples, the sacred cities, the cenotes. We're going to take part in the ceremonies and all the ancient mysteries of Mexico. We're going beyond the beaches, beyond the tourist traps, and beyond the surface level version of history. We're going into the world of the Maya, the Toltec, the serpent wisdom, and the sacred calendars. We're going to learn about the star alignments and the forbidden, forgotten, and coded knowledge in stone. And when we begin in the Yucatan, staying in beautiful luxury accommodations near the turquoise waters of the Caribbean, we're going to visit private beaches with access to environments that are designed for rest, connection, transformation, and integration. And then we'll begin to go a lot deeper. And this is the part that's going to be incredible. We're going to explore Tulum, where ancient temples rise above the sea and become connected to the stars and the sun. We're going to experience the cycles of time and the ancient priesthoods that understand astronomy, architecture, frequency, and consciousness in ways that modern science is just now trying to finally decode. And then we're going to go to Coba, traveling the ancient Sekobeb. And that's the roads that are exploring the power of the Nanakmo and one of the tallest pyramids in the Maya world. And we'll ask the real questions. Were these just ceremonial centers, or were they part of a global ancient knowledge system that stretched across continents? And we'll experience the Ekbalam, the Temple of the Jaguar, one of the most mysterious ancient sites in the region. And this is where we connect with sacred temples and Mayan ceremonies and a powerful cenote and the energy of the land itself. And of course, we're going to go to Chichen Itza, down in the Yucatan Peninsula, the home of Kukulkan's castle. And this is not just a pyramid. This is a mathematical and astronomical spiritual machine carved into stone. And when you stand there with us, you're standing in front of a message from the ancient world. And then we're going to visit Valladolid, and we're going to enjoy authentic local food, explore artisan shops, and experience the culture of Mexico in a way that most tourists never ever get a chance to. And then we continue down to Merida, one of the most beautiful cultural cities in the Yucatan, where we're going to experience energy of Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. It's not just a holiday. It's an ancestral remembrance, a sacred connection between the living and the dead, the bloodline and the eternal soul. And from there, we're going to visit Uxmal, one of the most powerful Maya sites in the Puc region, with the Pyramid of the Magician, sacred geometry, ancient carvings and symbols that still speak to us thousands of years later. And then we fly into Mexico City, which is included for one of the biggest energetic shifts in this entire journey. We're going to experience Dia de los Muertos in the most powerful and beautiful city in the world, and then visit Teotihuacan, the city of the gods, also known as the city of Tehuti. The Pyramid of the Sun is there, the Pyramid of the Moon, the Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl, and the Avenue of the Dead. These are not ordinary monuments. These are massive structures tied to alignment, mythology, initiation, and ancient knowledge. And then we go to Cholula, home of one of the largest pyramids on planet Earth, a massive ancient structure that is still partially buried beneath the land, layered with conquest, religion, mystery, and lost history. You'll see how ancient civilizations were covered over and over, then renamed, then buried, but never fully erased. This journey includes expert lectures by myself and Timothy Hogan, sacred site discussions, cultural experiences, ceremonies, guided explorations, select meals, and transportation within Mexico, and a powerful spiritual community of people who think just like you. So this is a limited capacity experience. This is not a massive crowd tour. This is a curated journey for people ready to walk the path of the ancients, ready to reconnect with the sacred wisdom of the experience of Mexico through hidden history, through consciousness, and through transformation. So if you ever felt called to the pyramids of Mexico, the Maya, the serpent wisdom, and all of the star alignments, this is your moment. Don't wait until all the seats are gone. Reserve your spot today, lock in your place, and come walk with us through the pyramids, temples, cenotes, ceremonies, and mysteries of ancient Mexico. I can't wait to see you there. All right. It's going to be amazing, Timothy. I can't wait to be out there with you, man, in the jungle.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. There's so many cool things we'll be able to show people that you're just not going to get on any other tour as well. I mean, including, the opportunity to participate in Mayan ceremonies. I mean, how cool is that? So
that is so cool.
Yeah,
I can't wait, man. That is so cool, because I did some, when I did my tour in Peru last year, I got to do some of the ceremonies with the shaman, and it made the tour just so much more incredible. It like transformed the whole tour.
That's great. Yeah, and that's a hard tour to do too. That one, that high elevation, and it's hard on you. So
it was hard. I got a little edema in my wrist, but it was, it was great to experience. And so I'm so glad that you were able to get us to experience these sacred rituals and stuff on this Mexico tour. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. It'll be great.
Looking forward to it, man. When you do this Mexico tour, what is your favorite part of this tour?
I think the first time you're going through we go to the Koba site where you're going through the jungle, and we usually have like little pedicabs where there's kids we could give money to pedal you through the paths, the ancient highways of the Maya, which still exists there in the jungle. And so as they're pedaling you through this area, you just see forest and trees all around you, and then all of a sudden it opens up to this incredible pyramid, the second tallest pyramid in the Mayan world, stretching to the sky. And it's breathtaking to see the first time.
Wow, incredible. Do you think we'll get a chance to touch some of these?
Yeah, not only will we be able to get a chance to touch them, we'll be able to climb them. We're trying to get that arranged for all the sites. We'll at least be able to do it for some of them. I mean, that's an experience in itself. I mean, not to give too much away, but at the top of the Koba pyramid, or the Nakomul pyramid at Koba, there's the remnants of an old kind of hut, but on the outside of it are two tridents that are they're originally in the shape of what was called the fallen god within the Mayan tradition, and these fallen gods represented the fall of Aztlan, where they had to escape in boats. So the fact that the figure's body is in the shape of a trident is, it's really interesting. I mean, that was, trident, of course, was the said to be the weapon of Poseidon, the god of Atlantis, and we find the trident in different ways, all over the ancient world. Being used by different gods, but
it's powerful stuff.
The fact that it's there on the on top of this pyramid, again suggests a connection. So
absolutely. This is me in 2014 or 13. I can't remember which year it was now. I'm at the top of the Pyramid of the Sun. This is before they shut it down, and nobody can climb it unless you have special permissions like the kind that you get. But I was at the top doing a meditation at the top of the Pyramid of the Sun back in either 2013 or 14, which was just an incredible experience to sit at the top of that, climb that pyramid, then sit at the top. And it's something that hardly anyone now can ever do. I mean, it's like such a small percentage of people that will ever get a chance to even get on and touch it now, because they got it roped off. When I was there in 2023, I didn't have any way to. I thought I could just walk in and go back up, and I got told, no, you can't even touch it. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Fortunate when some things get shut down. I mean, I was thinking there's one other interesting connection between Egypt and the Maya of the Yucatan. And this had to do with, I talked about Tutmosis III earlier. Well, his grandson was the pharaoh Akhenaten. And Akhenaten was often depicted as somewhat cone-headed. And his wife Nefertiti, there's actually statues. There's Maya statues of a goddess wearing the same headdress as Nefertiti, and which is so. There's been some speculation that Nefertiti, who was said to be from a faraway land, may have actually been a Mayan princess who Akhenaten married. And their children were depicted also with this kind of conish head, which was also interesting. One of the children went off to Scotland, and Scotland was actually named after her. Her name was Princess Scotia.
That's right,
and that's what Scotland's named after. So
but right there.
But one of the things we're going to get the opportunity to see on our tour, there is an area, recently in Tulum, where some elongated skulls were found. And I've heard they've been put in a special museum down there that's not normally open to the public, but we may get the opportunity to actually see them, to see these elongated skulls.
Oh man!
And, of course, this is something that you find with Akhenaten. You find it here within these Maya, the oldest Maya aspects of Tulum. And then the fact that you also, of course, there's the Paracas skulls down in Peru, which there you go.
Yeah.
Is also showing these strange, there's strange markings,
Oh yeah.
But it's
I've got a couple of skulls right here, so I'll bring that down. And
nice.
Talking about the skulls, this is the kind of stuff we're going to get a chance to potentially see, everybody. So you got to come on this tour. You better be on this tour if you want to see stuff like this in person and touch stuff like this in person. But check it out.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So, on one side, you've got a Paracas skull. On the other side, you've got a human skull, right?
Right.
You can clearly see this is not skull binding. This is more cranial mass, which you cannot get from skull binding, because skull binding reduces the cranial mass. This is a fully developed skull that has, look how I can pick up a basketball like it's a tennis ball with my hands. Okay, I'm 6'4". I got big hands. You and I are roughly about the same size, right?
Yep.
But I mean, look at this. Look how big this skull is. I mean, this is crazy. Yeah. I mean, I could pick up a basketball like it's a tennis ball. This is a big skull, man.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah.
And I mean, these, and some of them don't have the parietal plates that a human has.
Right.
Which is incredible, And so, of course, this is the human skull. So we see a big difference. My hand can cover the entire human skull, but my hand can't cover the entire Paracas skull.
Well, and let us not forget, the depictions of the Pharaoh Akhenaten with this elongated skull.
Yeah.
Is, we have to assume they were, depicting what they were seeing, the artist, because Akhenaten actually gave a lot more artistic license during his time, but we of course we don't know where Akhenaten's body is. I mean, he was when he was they made him disappear. So and they and the Amun priesthood then tried to erase any mention of him, so so we don't actually know what his skull was, but certainly in the artwork depictions, it's elongated. So
oh yeah, for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, here's something of Akhenaten here to give people an idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
You can see how that elongated skull fits right in with the bust, right?
Right.
And and then also with Nefertiti.
Nefertiti, yeah.
Yeah. You can see again here how these special hats, these royal hats, they really were designed to cover the extended version of the extended area of that elongated skull.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that it was on both sides of the Atlantic suggests, probably some sort of a dynasty of people with that genetic disposition, that had been accepted as rulers on both sides of the Atlantic,
Yeah.
So
bloodline that extended all the way across.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be tied to, be tied to that Anunnaki, bloodline. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, when you have that much more cranial mass, up to 25% more, imagine only utilizing 5 to 8% more of that 25%.
Right.
I mean, you'd have to be a genius. You forget Einstein. You'd be Einstein 10x.
Right. That's right.
I mean, it's scary how intelligent a person can be with that much capacity and access to their brain. Yeah. And then we see Teotihuacan. It resembles a computer circuit motherboard looking from the sky, looking down.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, so this to me is just mind-boggling. I mean, because when we, as you've studied and I've studied the telluric lines and the energetic grid and everything and all the connections between these sites, it would make sense that human beings, this version of us creating, computer circuits and motherboards is only a fractal of what already existed on a bigger scale.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, as King Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun, you know.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
It keeps coming around,
Hmm. It is. And
Uh,
are these sites at Teotihuacan connected with underground tunnels?
yes, so at Teotihuacan there are underground tunnels,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I don't know if they all connect together, but I mean there are tunnels underneath.
Hmm.
In fact, that's how they at Teotihuacan. That's how they figured out that the Maya may have actually had an influence. Well, now they're saying the Maya may have had an influence on the construction because they, in digging in the tunnels underneath Teotihuacan, they found not only these rivers of mercury, but they found Mayan pottery, and it's
Hmm.
definitely Mayan.
Yeah.
So it means at the very least that it could be that the complex was built centuries before the Maya, and the Maya adopted it and went
Exactly.
into found those tunnels and left an offering.
Yeah.
But right now, the standard archaeology is acknowledging, oh well, maybe the Mayans had a connection with the site,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't think you pull people's hearts out of their chest while they're still alive just to make honor to the gods when supposedly you have the technology and the knowledge on how to build structures like this. It just doesn't
right,
add up.
right,
Something missing. There's a part missing. I know that the Aztecs had a volcanic eruption in their in their valley, and it
yeah,
destroyed everything. And the survivors left, and they stumbled upon Teotihuacan, and they
yeah,
inherited it as well, right?
right,
So this inheriting type of a setup for civilizations, it seems to be pretty standard across the board. A lot of these cultures inherited what was already there that was even far more ancient than they can even imagine.
yeah.
And they kind of just inhabited these places, and it seems like it happens over and over again. Some of these sites were probably reused several times, several different civilizations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can almost see too that they're like, for like example, in Egypt, you can see that the oldest stuff is the most advanced. But then you can see that later dynasties, where the pharaohs were trying to preserve these sites, and so they would
Mhm.
go in with smaller stones, or
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
try to do something to in their day to preserve them. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, because they preserved those sites, there's been some archaeologists who have
Yeah.
chosen to say that, oh, they must have created these
Right.
sites,
I know, it was
even though
ridiculous.
they were the first to do a preservation.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You go
Effort.
to Machu Picchu, and you see where the Inca were doing repairs using
Right,
smaller stones,
right,
and it doesn't mean the Inca built Machu Picchu,
right,
right? The style of molding those stones together is a pre-Inca technology that
right.
they didn't have it, and it's the same thing everywhere else. And I saw some people in the live chat asking, was Teotihuacan built on top of an aquifer like Giza? Yes, the answer is yes, it was.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And by the way, the fact that both Giza and Teotihuacan even have these platforms that the pyramids are on is
Hmm.
more incredible than the pyramids in
Yeah.
a sense. I mean,
Exactly.
it takes to level all that out and to create it. In the case of Giza, the stones are fitted. Some of those stones have like 8 angles to them,
Hmm.
and they're fit like a
Yeah.
jigsaw puzzle,
I
So,
know. Yeah.
um, yeah, it suggests very superior technology, and
Yeah.
or at least the attempt to replicate uh,
Hmm.
that type of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go on Arturo, you'll see that Chichen Itza, the stones are more flush and fitted and tightly. It's very geometric,
Yeah.
whereas Nako Mul is kind of looks like a bunch of used Lego pieces all put together to build a pyramid,
Right,
So,
right, yes.
But they they both have their own functions and are impressive in their own ways. So
right, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Now it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to this tour. I'm honored that you contacted me and invited me to kind of co-host this tour with you. I'm sharing the link to all of our incredible, beautiful people that follow the Forbidden Knowledge accounts. Everyone click that link and register ASAP so I can send you a special invite for the Forbidden Tour, the sacred tour that we're going to take in Mexico with Timothy Hogan, the Knights Templar. It's a one-of-a-kind opportunity. The thing about these tours is we don't know how long we're going to be able to have VIP access to sites. We're going to be able to have this type of access to locations because over time, as Timothy can tell you, we see the lockdown of certain sites. I mean, half of Machu Picchu is roped off now, right? I couldn't even get to that side. I had VIP access and I couldn't get to the other side. They completely shut it off. Back in 2017, I walked the whole thing. It took me a few hours, but I can't do it anymore. So every single time we go back, you never know if it could be the last time. I was one of the last people to climb the Pyramid of Kukulkan. I did that years ago. And then now you can only do it with special access on a tour like this, maybe if we can get that permission. But sometimes you can't go,
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, we're fortunate because, I'm pretty sure we have access to most all of it. So, but you just don't know. I mean, I used to do tours in Egypt back in 2011. Then there was the Arab Spring happened, and the government was overturned, and it just wasn't safe to go there, for several years afterwards, and so. You just don't know when something like that happens too.
You don't know. Listen, but talking about the Arab Spring, what my welcome to Egypt was? I didn't know it was the Arab Spring. I went, right?
Oh yeah.
And the first they have caught this was at the point where they were capturing the rebels and putting them in firing squads.
Yep.
I look out of my window. There's a firing squad firing right there in the main square, and they're gunning down.
Oh yeah, that's a Tahrir Square. Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Where am I?
That's right. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was probably around that time where Mubarak's office was bombed, which was just right above that square,
Yeah. He was worth $80 billion while his entire country was living in squalor. That guy was crazy, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well,
the good old days.
The good old days. Inshallah, those are past.
yeah, exactly. Those days are gone. But listen, we went through all of that, and we still keep going back. So we're true explorers,
Yeah. Well, things have totally settled down now.
It's okay now.
To go back there. It's great.
Yeah.
We would, and certainly we wouldn't want to put anybody in harm's way.
No.
With any of our tours, to anywhere. So
those days are long. I was solo at the time, but it was a great experience. I ain't gonna lie, it was like kind of exciting. But
I was there. I remember seeing it. So it was a mess.
No. Oh man, we made it to the other side.
Yeah.
So listen, y'all, come hang out with us in Mexico. We promise there won't be any Arab Springs there. It won't be any detrimental situations. It's going to be fun, exciting, spiritual, activating, and a lot of knowledge will be shared. I'll drop the link in the live chat one more time. And make sure y'all follow Timothy Hogan on all social media. Where are you located on social media right now?
I can be found at timothywarrenhogan.com. There's a website, but you can also find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and I think I'm on TikTok too. But just search for Timothy Hogan. You'll find me.
Gotcha. All right, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I got to have you back on the podcast again very soon so we could talk more because there's so much to talk about with Mexico. You can't do it all in one podcast.
Yeah, that's right. I can promise we're going to show you things that most people never get to see, number one. And number two, you're going to see things that even if people get to see them, they don't get to really understand them. And we'll be able to give you at least some different interpretations of what's really going on there. And and it's exciting. It tells a very intriguing history of our past. So
yes, absolutely. All right, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Tell Kendra I said hello, and I'll see you again very soon.
All right. Thanks. Peace to you, Billy.
All right. Peace. That was the living legend, Knights Templar, a real Knights Templar, not a fake Knights Templar, a real Knights Templar, Timothy Hogan. The guy's amazing. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm looking forward to doing this tour of Mexico with Timothy Hogan. It's going to be this October, coming up towards the end of October, going into the beginning of November. You don't want to miss this tour. It is going to be one of the most amazing tour that I've done. We're going to see things that hardly anyone will get a chance to see. We're going to explore in a way that hardly anyone gets a chance to explore. We're going to visit it's like 10 bucket list pyramids in one tour. And to be part of the sacred rituals and to be a part of the activations live with the actual indigenous culture is a whole nother level of experience. When I travel to these places, I like to deal and be a part of the culture itself. You know, I like to merge with the culture, to experience the culture so I can see it and envision it from their own eyes, from their own perspective, so I can expand my own consciousness, expand my knowing, expand my way of seeing the world. These types of experiences are absolutely priceless. You can't even put a price tag on them. And so that's why I love taking these kind of trips and tours. And I'd love to have y'all come along with me. Again, I dropped a link in the live chat. Again, it's also in the caption of this video, caption of this audio. And I'll be back again with Timothy Hogan pretty soon to talk more about the lost technologies of the Maya and ancient Mexico. All right.